This is IGN. We have Silent Hill 2 at home. This is your IGN review of Return to Silent Hill by Jesse Schedeen. Return to Silent Hill doesn't necessarily have the highest bar to clear as it ambles its way to theaters in this winter lull period. Hollywood may have finally figured out how to do a proper video game adaptation on the streaming side of things, but decent video game movies are still pretty few and far between. And while director Christoph Gans' 2006 Silent Hill movie was a decent effort, the follow-up, 2012's Gans-less Silent Hill Revelation, is as dreadful as they come. All Return to Silent Hill has to do is not be the worst entry in the series, and it manages that, if not a great deal else. While the previous two films borrowed fairly liberally from the first and third Silent Hill games, neither is what could be considered a direct adaptation. Return to Silent Hill, by comparison, is basically Silent Hill 2 the movie. It doesn't really seek to continue the mythology established in the previous films, but rather presents a standalone tale set in the spooky, ash-strewn streets of Silent Hill. As in 2001's Silent Hill 2 and its 2024 remake, Return to Silent Hill follows James Sunderland, played by Jeremy Irvine, a seemingly innocuous everyman mourning the death of his girlfriend Mary, played by Hannah Emily Anderson. When James receives a letter from Mary urging him to return to their special place, it's off to Silent Hill and its cavalcade of shambling horrors. What follows is a condensed version of the game's storyline. That's certainly a proven formula at this point, but again, Return to Silent Hill's most glaring flaw is that it doesn't do anything particularly new or exciting with that formula. Given the sheer graphical fidelity of the Silent Hill 2 remake, the prospect of seeing the game's events play out in live action simply isn't enough. Heck, the game is by far the better looking of the two. Return to Silent Hill's low-budget trappings reveal themselves in the many shots of Irvine and others standing against obvious green screen backdrops. The creature designs are still impressive in any medium, but the remake feels more visually refined and cohesive overall. Nor are the performances up to the standard of the remake. Irvine is mostly fine as James, but the film doesn't always give him much to do beyond send him careening down eerie hallways, screaming one character or another's name. Only towards the end does James undergo more of a tangible emotional arc, and while it's fun to see Evie Templeton reprise her role as Laura from the game remake, she's barely in the movie long enough to leave much of an impression. That goes for most of the supporting characters, really. In the effort to trim down a lengthy game narrative to a tight 100-minute film, these characters have been reduced to shells that appear only long enough to push the story forward. Underdeveloped barely scratches the surface here. Return to Silent Hill can feel surprisingly aimless despite its modest runtime. With none of the obtuse puzzle solving and little of the combat that defines the games, the film settles for following James as he runs terrified from one familiar landmark to the next and experiences flashbacks of his life with Mary. In ditching the interactive element, the story loses much of its power. The monsters still look cool, but they and the town's otherworld dimension don't really inspire the same sense of dread. Return to Silent Hill isn't completely without merit. It's certainly a better follow-up to Christoph Gans' original 2006 film than 2012's Silent Hill Revelation, one that finds some success drawing on the creepy imagery and sound design of the games, but it's ultimately an adaptation that fails to improve upon the source material or do anything particularly new and interesting. Those craving a truly great psychological horror experience are better off booting up a version of Silent Hill 2. Return to Silent Hill's IGN score? 5 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Silent Hill reviews and updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.